In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Aayla Secura for the Vintage Collection. Similar to Barra Sophie, who I reviewed previously, we'll be taking a closer look at the more movie-accurate version of Aayla. And if you've been a follower on the channel for a little while now, you would know that I reviewed the Tartakovsky Clone Wars version of Aayla Secura back here. And I did that with the entire wave, which is, of course, just a repaint of the original here from TBC 1.0. And it's a fantastic action figure. It's probably one of the best that was produced in the Vintage Collection because it's so accurate, as far as I could tell, to how the character looks on screen. This is technically a more Revenge of the Sith accurate Aayla Secura. I don't think there's any differences at all between Attack of Clones or Revenge of the Sith. I don't think she shows up in the Phantom Menace at all. And it's a fantastic action figure. I've had this Aayla here. I got her off Tungori in 2017. And throughout the years, Tungori has had Aayla Secura in stock every now and then. The original one at that. Prices haven't been too bad over the years. I think I paid only like $12 or $13 for this at the time, which, looking back on it, was incredible. I never found this Aayla in retail at all back in 2011, 2012. I know a lot of people claim they did, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case for me. And within the last couple months, I know Tungori got a bunch of Aaylas in stock again. I think the prices are much more than they were at the time I purchased this one, though. I think now he might even charge like $30, which is really not bad at all. This is the definitive Aayla Secura in just about every way. And we've gotten several of them over the years. We got a Revenge of the Sith one during the Revenge of the Sith line. The Saga line had a few, I think. And then there were some in-between ones. There is a Clone Wars one as well, which I do have. So like I said, I think this action figure is accurate in just about every way. You look at the head sculpt here, I think that looks spot on to the actress. Has the ears there, and then the headband. And of course the head tails. She does have the detailing in them. It has these spots on top, which I think is part of her skin tone. And then these bands basically that go around her head tails. And we'll take this Jedi robe off. It is interesting that Hasbro decided to include one. I don't know if they just did it to add more value, or because, oh, she's a Jedi, she should have a robe regardless, or if they did it just to kind of conceal her a little bit if she was sitting at retail. But regardless, I'm glad she has one. I think she looks pretty good with the robe still. So we know Aayla Secura is not one for wearing a lot of clothing. And it definitely shows on this action figure. And have a little bit of this plastic piece hanging off their elbow there. It was like that when I got this. Hasbro did a nice job sculpting her feminine features. Looks pretty good. She does have the sleeve on her left arm here, and then of course totally bare on her right arm. I really like how they did her hand gestures as well. Like this left one here is kind of like a forced gesture, and of course her right hand holds the lightsaber. But if you work with it a little bit, you can get her to hold the lightsaber with both hands, and then be just kind of like she's holding it with her left hand, but then she has the two fingers sticking out. We have the belt here and kind of a loincloth for her. And it has these strings hanging off her belt. Of course, she does have a spot for a lightsaber hilt. But it doesn't look like it's, well, yeah, it is. Interesting detailing in the hilt as well. I'm pretty sure this is the exact hilt that the real action figure comes with. As far as I could tell, even though this is a Tongori action figure, I don't think there's really any significant differences between the real one and then this one. But this one does have a black dot for, I would assume, the switch. Looks pretty good. And of course her legs here, their pants and her boots, which look pretty good. In terms of her articulation, she is super articulated. She does have the ball joint at the head, and the hinged shoulders and elbows. Yeah, the elbows go about 90 degrees. And the swivel wrists, and joint torso. And she does have hinged hips, which is very helpful for a character like Aayla. And hinged knees and the hinged ankles. In terms of her accessories, it's basically the essential ones. The ignited blade and lightsaber, which is a blue lightsaber blade. The hilt here, which is secure in her belt. You can remove that no problem. And then of course a robe here, which I don't think there's anything too significant about this robe. I'm sure this is the one that comes with the real one as well. So you can see between the Clone Wars version and the movie one, these two robes are different. This one's much more lighter in color, and I think it's a little more poofy. And of course the cut at the bottom is a little bit different from this one. Yeah, let's look at the lightsaber here real quick. Looks like it's the same hilts. The only difference is these ones have the black paint on the switch there, while this one is just totally silver. So I'm glad that there's some differences between the two, other than the figure's paint job, obviously. Then, of course, the Clone Wars Aayla uses the photoreal, while the original has the painted face here. And I think it is another case where, you know, the photoreal does look pretty good on this, but the painted face is perfectly fine. Hasbro really knocked it out of the park for this one. Can't really fit a stand on the Clone Wars Aayla too well, so I'll just have to do without. But that's pretty much all I can tell about the TVC Aayla Secura here. Put her robe back on real quick. It's usually how I have her displayed. I think it does, for the most part, have a nice drape for her. Seems to sit on her pretty good. It's not too baggy, and can have it open in a way where it's not too overbearing. And because she has the head tails, you can kind of fit the hood over her a little bit better. And because it adds a little bit more height to her head there, it looks a little more natural. Let's see here. Yeah. If you work with it a little bit, you can kind of get it. Most of the time I have it just draped back here. So would I recommend Aayla Secura from the TVC line for your collection? I totally would. I recommend both versions. There's enough uniqueness between the two to justify having both. If you want a more movie accurate one, obviously this one's the one to get. If you're not too particular or you like the Tartakovsky Clone Wars a lot, definitely this one's a great option too. And like I said, we've gotten so many Aayla Securas over the years, but this one's definitely the definitive one. She's one of my personal favorite Jedi from the prequel era, and I know she is for a lot of people as well. As far as price is concerned, I don't think she's too bad over the years because she's had a lot of Tongori releases, so that's kind of influenced the market a little bit, I think. Obviously, if you get one brand new in the card unpunched, you're probably going to be paying a decent amount for that. But if you get one loose, it's not too bad. And then, of course, the prices for this one here have stayed relatively low, and I think this one shows up at the discount chains quite often. So that's kind of influenced the price a little bit as well. So if you look in the right places, you might be able to find the first version of her for a decent price. Of course, all the other ones are pretty good as well. The Revenge of the Sith action figure of her, I think, is decent, and I plan on wanting to get that one at some point. And then in the Saga line, I'm pretty sure there was one as well, and I'll have to look into getting that one. And as I mentioned, I do have the Clone Wars one as well, which I do hope to start doing some more Clone Wars action figures here soon. I would like to try and get the entire collection I have reviewed on the channel here sooner than later, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews here in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.